Hello, welcome back. We are going to do a short little video here to show some tricks that might be helpful for your ACT reading section. Reading on a computer screen or maybe even on your phone screen where you might be watching this is terribly uncomfortable for most people. Um, I myself hate reading on a screen. But it's the reality that we have to live with in the ACT school day exam. You do get to choose the paper test when you're doing this for the national dates, but the school day exam is going to be on the computer. So it'd be a good idea to get kind of an idea of how it's going to look. So when you're starting the section, you're going to have this screen here. You can't really click much and it doesn't really matter. But this is where the section is going to begin, and you'll have a timer up at the corner here. I've selected the non-timed version here so I could just chat my way. But you'll notice I'm clicking and dragging on this text and I can't highlight anything. And if you're on a computer screen, it's going to be really wide. On your cell phone screen, it might narrow it down a little bit and it's a little bit more comfortable to read that way. But on a computer screen, if it's more than just a couple of inches wide, it can be kind of hard to keep track of where you're at on there. So there's a couple of tools built into this that can make that a little bit easier to do. So the first thing is you can change, if you're more comfortable reading white on black, you can change the contrast of it. And I personally find this a little bit more comfortable. I'm used to reading on a Kindle with the colors inverted like that. So that's how I like taking the exam. It's less harsh on my eyes. And you can turn on a couple of these other tools in here as you're going through and eliminate answers. But the most useful ones are going to be this highlighter, which will now make it so you can highlight the text as you read. So if you're reading along, it's really easy to keep track of where you're at with your computer mouse. If you have a physical mouse, like the one with the buttons and you can click and drag, that makes this also very much easier. You can easily clear that if you lose track or want to actually use the annotator or highlighting feature and select specific words to highlight. That's fine. I use it just to keep track of where I'm at, though. I'm not actually highlighting for any meaningful things. I'm just using it to keep track of where my eyes are at. The other thing that for me was the most useful revelation is you can't, normally I'm used to being able to sliding like the mid bar here, slide that over and change the size of the column, like you can do on many applications, but on the test, you cannot do that. So what's a person to do? Well, there's an index over here. And if you click on that index, now I can not only see that this is much smaller column width, but I can actually adjust it to wherever I find it to be comfortable. And you can even put it up top above the question if you want. Um, But that is a neat little trick. And if it's just like 6 or 7 words across, that's so much easier to read and keep track of where you're at without needing to highlight everything. But you can combine both of those strategies and now open up the tool, highlighter, and now I can read quickly and easily without having to bop my eyes across the screen very much. And that makes it really easy to keep track of not only where I'm at, but then I have the added benefit. I can see what questions are coming up. If you're the type of person who likes to preview the questions, now you can see them all in one shot. You don't have to click, 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 click to read each of the questions. You can just see them all right there. So those are some strategies of how to make the reading on the ACT just a little bit more manageable. Thanks for watching.